Arlinda. Arlinda, a lifetime of memories. As we grow older, we all have our memories. Today, Arlinda will tell us a story about an elderly woman telling her story one rainy night. Please help me welcome Arlinda Smith with a lifetime of memories, Arlinda Smith.
As we age and become seniors, it's important for us to recant our lives. It's important because it gives us a chance to put everything into perspective as our days are shorter and shorter. Today I'm going to tell you a story about a lifetime of memories and an elderly lady telling her story to her cab driver. It was a cold, dreary, dark New York evening. And rough and tough John Mason was a cab driver. And it was his second shift in his dirty yellow cab. His cab was dirty because it had been so rainy and stormy. The rain had started about noon, and it had beat down on his cab all afternoon and early evening. Damn that rain. 1949 Tiffany Street. 1949. There it is. It was an old, run-down building. And as he got out of the car and started walking towards the front door, it had those flagstaffs, and those steps were kind of loose under his feet. And he could see the little blue flowers hiding in the cracks away from the storm. He walks up to the door and he knocks, running his hand through his greasy gray hair. Inside, he could hear the shuffling of feet going slowly across the room. A little 90-year-old woman, a woman who was in her 90s, more than 90, opened the door. She had on an old-fashioned lavender suit and one of those little round pillbox hats with a little veil. Very old. And he could see that it looked like no one had lived in that home for ages. The furniture was all covered with sheets. And the smell was musty. But he helped the little old woman on with her coat and carried her to dilapidated suitcases, and together they walked out to his dirty yellow cab. He helped her in the car. "Where am I taking you, lady?" said John. The little old lady said, "I would like to drive around for a while first. Drive slowly around the neighborhood, and I'll tell you where to stop. Is that okay?" John said, "But you're the boss." And they started driving. She asked him to slow down in front of the hospital. This was the hospital where her children were born. Something very special to her. Then they drove on. And she told him to slow down in front of the church, for she had been married as a young girl. Oh, what a happy life she had with her husband and her 2 children. Then they rode on. And he told her to stop in front of the office building, the old office building, where she had worked so many years ago as an elevator operator. Oh, she had loved her little white gloves. And they drove on. And then she asked him to stop in front of the graveyard. This is where she said her husband and her 2 children were already buried. And she told the cab driver, I'm going to be with them soon because I'm dying and you're taking me to a hospice tonight. Cab driver didn't know what to say, drove her to the hospice where the attendants came out to bring her in. And she said, well, what do I owe you, cabby? And he said, you don't owe me anything tonight. And she said, but you have to earn a living. And he said, I'll have more people tonight paying me. And she said, God bless you. And the tears welled up in her eyes and ran down her face. The attendants took her in. And the cab driver drove off in the cold New York rain with the tears running down his face.